We got blink. We got black screen right now, at least as far as what I'm seeing on my phone. Anytime you're ready to actually give me picture, that'll be just fine. I would like to have some picture. It would be helpful when I'm talking about this action figure if people could actually see the action figure. And I can see myself on the camera. There it is. Oh, and it's still all fuzzy. Yeah. Sometimes it just takes a minute. I don't know why. It's annoying. So today I have to open up for you something very special. Finally, from the Masters of the Universe movie from 1987. God, that's almost 40 years ago now, isn't it? I feel so old. But we have Evil-Lyn as played by Meg Foster. And this is actually, I think, an excellent likeness of Meg Foster. You might remember that the Dolph Lundgren He-Man head didn't necessarily look much like Dolph Lundgren. but they did a nice job with Meg Foster here. And of course, Frank Langella, he's got so many prosthetics on his face. It's kind of hard to tell who he is anyway. But yeah, apparently this one's called Despot Skeletor or Evil Despot Skeletor or something like that. I guess they don't have to call it movie Skeletor because, you know, there are complicated rights issues with the Masters of the Universe movie for whatever reason. But I thought this was a really nice figure. They did a nice job with him. It's just the cape is kind of lame. This is probably like the worst cape that any character has ever had in the Masterverse line. I mean, like that's kind of pathetic, honestly. So I still need to replace that cape. Hopefully Evil-Lyn has a better cape once we get her opened up. But I can tell one problem with this figure, right? Like, I already said something nice, because I said she got a nice likeness. She looked like Meg Foster. But one problem I can tell already is that I don't think this armor is shiny enough. And it looks to me like, you know, they just kind of molded it in like this, you know, in the movie, it's kind of almost chrome. It's so shiny. And it's this kind of like pale gold. It's not quite silver, not quite gold. And they caught that color pretty well. It's just, it's not as shiny as it should be. But there's the picture over on the back with her little translucent holographic cosmic key. They're showing off her cape, so hopefully she's got a better cape. There's that sail barge looking thing that Skeletor was on. Geez, do you think Star Wars was influential on this movie? I don't know. And the movie version of Castle Grayskull in the background, which looked way different from the toy. But, you know, it did look pretty cool. Kind of reminded me of the castle from the Dark Crystal. And then over here, Evil-Lyn looking like she's casting some kind of spell. You know, I've seen this movie so many times that, like, I can tell what certain images are drawn from. Like, this is right when she says, "After all this time, Castle Grayskull is ours." And then Skeletor says, "No!" And then she turns, and that's where she turns. And Skeletor sits down in the throne and kind of wraps his fingers around his staff, and he says, "Mine." How dare you try to take what Skeletor has rightfully stolen? Anyway, in the last episode, I opened up Gwildor and Orko. And, of course, that was the Gwildor from the Masters of the Universe Revolution cartoon series. And so he didn't look exactly like the movie version. It wasn't intended to look exactly like the movie version. It was supposed to look like Gwildor, what he looked like on that cartoon. And they did a good job of that. But for me, it's like, it's kind of one of those things. I mainly, while I did enjoy Gwildor's appearance on the Revolution cartoon, I mainly got it because, you know, I'm a fan of the movie. I mean, I enjoyed his presence in the cartoon because I'm a fan of the movie. So let's go ahead and read the bio on the back before I open this thing up. And it says, Evil-Lyn, evil leader of the army of Skeletor. After obtaining the cosmic key from Gwildor, Evil-Lyn realized too late that he had a second. She led Skeletor's forces to Earth to capture the second key and to prove her worth. Man, one of the most heartbreaking moments in that entire movie. Yeah, I'm gonna say it. Is when Evil-Lyn manages to get the cosmic key. Like, she disguises herself as Courtney Cox's mom and tricks her into giving her the key. And she's on the communication device talking to Skeletor, and she's all ready to tell him about her day and brag about what a good job she did. And she's like, the days are fools, weak and easily controlled. And He-Man, he has eluded us. That will be all. Oh, poor Evil-Lyn. She just wanted to make Skeletor happy. She just wanted to tell him about her day and how she'd been, and yeah, he just didn't care. Because all he cares about is getting power and killing He-Man, and that's it. And poor Evil-Lyn, she's just kind of a tool in his arsenal. He doesn't appreciate her as a human being, and worse, he doesn't appreciate her as a woman. And God knows Evil-Lyn wants to be appreciated as a woman. She loves her skull-faced bastard. Oh man. And this was not Meg Foster's only appearance in the Masters of the Universe world, because she also returned to the Masters of the Universe Revolution cartoon and did the voice of Motherboard on that. So yeah, I'm watching that and I'm like, that voice sounds familiar. That's Evil-Lyn. That's Meg Foster. So Evil-Lyn comes with the Cosmic Key, and I believe this is the same mold of the Cosmic Key that came with Skeletor, only this time it is in a translucent blue plastic. We're going to talk more about that in just a minute. And she's got 2 spellcasting hands. Now, Evil-Lyn's got 2 gripping hands that are already on the figure, but she doesn't really seem to have any accessories like a staff or anything like that she could hold separately. And you can see it's molded in kind of like a pearlescent, very pale pink color. And it's got a little bit of I don't know if that's coming across in the camera, but it's got a little bit of gold detailing on there. Evil-Lyn wore this entire sheer bodysuit, and it had gold detailing on it, but it was kind of shiny and pearlescent, and it looked really cool, I thought. And they managed to replicate that with this figure somewhat, which we'll talk more about once we get her out of the package. They put tape on their cape, which I hate that. I hate it when they put tape on the cape. Because now, for the remainder of the life of this action figure, it's always going to have that tape residue on there. It's never going to come off. It's going to be stuck on there forever. And worst case scenario is it'll start collecting like dirt and look all dingy. And thankfully, this is kind of a dark colored cape, so it might not be as apparent if that happens as it would with like a lighter colored cape. Like I'm more concerned about He-Man's burgundy cape and it having some just kind of gross brown parts of it. I don't think it'll show up as bad on Evil-Lyn's cape. And like I said, Skeletor's cape is kind of lame, so I'm planning on replacing it anyway. I just haven't gotten around to doing it yet. I've been busy. Had a lot of things to do. All right, and there's no accessories in this tray because, like I said, the only accessory she comes with is the besides the extra hands is that she comes with the Cosmic Key, and it looks like her cape is black. I can't quite tell if it's a black or a really dark blue, but it definitely looks black on the camera, doesn't it? And she's got that I'm not sure what you call this hat, headdress, helmet. I mean, it's got like a lot of little holes in it, so it's not a very effective helmet. And she's got her hair kind of pulled up underneath. My friend Bob, he does not like Evil-Lyn having white hair, which of course she had on the Filmation cartoon, and she's had in nearly every version of Masters of the Universe except this one. This is the one where Evil-Lyn actually has dark hair. It's not even quite black hair. It's like dark brown. But again, we can see that's an excellent likeness of Meg Foster. The sculpt is great. The paint, I think, could be a little bit better because I don't think they quite got her eyebrows right. Her lips look good. Her eyes look good. And Meg Foster, like as an actress, I think her most distinctive feature is those just icy blue eyes. And I kind of suspect that's the main reason she was cast as Evil-Lyn, is like she probably came in and auditioned and they saw those eyes and they're like, oh, I don't care if she can't act at all. We're casting her. But of course, you know, she was a pretty established actress by that time. She was the original Cagney and Lacey with Tyne Daly. She wound up getting recast, but Sharon Gless took over the part. Well, she wasn't like, I don't think she was the original one. So I think Loretta Swit was in the TV movie of Cagney and Lacey, but on the series, she was the first. She was the first Cagney. I'm pretty sure it was Cagney that she was, right? I don't remember. I haven't seen that show since the 80s. But yeah, she was recast on that for whatever reason. But she went on to appear in like a bunch of movies and TV shows and stuff. We would have seen her in a lot of stuff in the 80s and 90s, and even today she's still working. And I think the first thing I ever saw her in was Masters of the Universe. But she wound up being in another one of my favorite movies of all time, They Live. So you know, when I was a kid and I first saw this movie, and she's got those blue eyes, and man, I thought for sure they were contacts. Like, I didn't think it was possible for eyes to be that blue, but they that's her real eyes. And when I saw her in They Live, I'm like, holy crap, her eyes really look like that. I was expecting to see her like in real life. She's got like brown eyes or something like that. No, she had those blue eyes. So help me God, blue eyes. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and swap out one of these hands right now, because I'm going to play around with the cosmic key for a little bit. But yeah, there's even a line of dialogue in there where like Kevin describes her as a woman with strange eyes, and Tila instantly knows Evil-Lyn. Like, who else would he be talking about? So even though she doesn't really have like a staff or anything, you can fit this into her open hand. And you can see, like, I didn't even get the hand in there all the way, but it's holding onto it fairly well. Since it is a spellcasting hand, the fingers are kind of splayed out a little bit, but I'm pretty sure I could fit all 4 of her fingers, not counting her thumb, obviously. Fit all 4 of her fingers into that strap. And then she can hold the cosmic key like that. And I think on the package they had her like holding the cosmic key in the palm of her hand. But I don't think either one of these hands is like big enough to actually do that with. So you'd have to kind of balance it on there like so. Now, here's the interesting thing about this this cosmic key is I don't believe this is literally supposed to be the cosmic key, because it's in this clear blue plastic. I believe this is supposed to represent the cosmic key as it appears when she's holding up that small holographic projector and it appears on it. And you might remember that holographic projector. It basically was like a handle that she held like this, and then it had this flat platform, this kind of circular disc platform on there, and it projected the cosmic key out of it. But they did not give you an accessory to represent that holographic projector. They just have the holographic image. So, you know, honestly, I think they probably should have sprung for a little bit of extra money in their accessory budget and given us a little platform to put that on. I think that would have been better. And of course, the gripping hand can hold the cosmic key by the strap. But like I said, it actually fits better on the open hand, honestly. But she can hold it by the strap there too. So or you could, if you wanted to, have her hold the cosmic key by the body of the device, and kind of pinch the strap over her hand like that, so she can kind of hold it like that too. Okay, but yeah, this is one time where I'm gonna say that the gripping hands are not as useful as the spellcasting hands, because the spellcasting hands can honestly hold on just as well to that cosmic key as the regular gripping hands. And then you can have her cast spells, but she doesn't cast a whole heck of a lot of spells in the movie. But I mean, she casts enough. Like, she disguises herself as Courtney Cox's mom, and you know, what else does she do, like, magic wise? She uses a lot of technology. I don't know. There's not as much fantasy element in this. I mean, there's some, obviously, but not as much as you usually see in Masters Universe, and it leaned a little more into the sci-fi elements, I think, than the more sort of fantasy, the high fantasy, the barbarian, sword and sorcery kind of aspect of it. I just thought his arm looked kind of awkward, so I wanted to move it. So anyway, her body is mostly molded in that kind of pearlescent, pale pink color to match her bodysuit again. And you can see, I think, a little better on here, the gold design work, kind of like little spirals that they have painted onto the bodysuit. And I believe that in the movie, they were kind of like almost sequin-looking things, so they kind of sparkled, and that was neat. And like I said, her breastplate in the movie was much shinier, much more metallic looking. It probably would have been better if they'd painted this, at bare minimum, if they'd painted these pieces, or what would have been ideal is if they had have chromed them, done some like electroplating on them to make them look all chrome. That would have been really sweet, but unfortunately they did not. And the thing I like about these figures is you can appreciate some of the costume details that maybe you didn't notice in the movie. Like, I never noticed these boots, and these are really cool boots. Like, they've got these kind of little diamond-shaped studs all along the trim of the boots. That's really cool. Mostly it's like a black leather boot, and then there's kind of like a little starburst thing down at the bottom. They feel very Flash Gordon. She would fit in if you put her in Flash Gordon. In fact, this would probably not be a bad figure if you wanted to make a custom of Princess Aura. I think maybe I'll try to get another one of these while they're cheap on Big Bad Toy Store, and I can use her as the basis for a Princess Aura figure, because NECA doesn't seem to want to get around to doing one. I'll do a Princess Aura, and I'll do a Dale Arden. I'll have to figure out, maybe this Tila would be good to use for Dale Arden. Ironically enough, on the Filmation Flash Gordon cartoon, the model that they designed for Princess Aura on that, they wound up recycling later on and made her into Tila on the Masters of the Universe cartoon. Not a lot of people know that. But if you watch both cartoons, the models are pretty much identical. They just kind of redesigned her top to have Tila's breastplate, and kind of redesigned the hair so it looked more like what the action figure had, and put some fur trim on the boots. They basically just kind of took the Tila design and slapped it onto Princess Aura. Hey, it worked. She looked good. And here I am talking about turning Evil-Lyn into into Princess Aura. Ironic. But yeah, and then she's got this little codpiece thing and like some chain there. I kind of wonder if this design was somewhat influenced by Princess Leia in Return of the Jedi, because there are a lot of similarities between that costume and this costume. Only with this one, it's designed to have a little more sort of armor type protection, a little bit. And like I said, it's a sheer bodysuit, so it's still, kind of sexy. It's still kind of, a little spicy. Not too spicy for the kids, but something that like dad who took kids to see the movie, he can appreciate that. But yeah, also something else that I never really noticed in the movies, but this is really cool, is she does have a lot of a snake motif. You can see there's like a little cobra at the bottom of the breastplate there. There's some cobras on either one of her arm or bracers. That kind of makes me think that this is probably like, yeah, this is a snake up here at her at the top of her diadem, and then snakes on her belt, on the little codpiece type thing. See those little purple shapes? Those are snakes. Little snakes on her shoulder pauldrons. How was I to know she was from Snake Mountain? She was beautiful. See, Billy Barty liked her. Poor old Gwildor. She was not interested in your skills as a locksmith. Gwildor got catfished. And then there's like a little purple kind of gem things hanging down from like the collar of the cape. A lot of good detail to this figure. I think that the sculpting is excellent. The paint could have been a little better, because like I said, I don't think they quite got her eyebrows, and I think they probably should have painted the armor pieces to make them a little shinier. Just molding them in the plastic color doesn't cut it on this one. And then she's got this this kind of rubber skirt piece. This is like a really dark blue with like some slightly darker blue stripes, or kind of, you can see some of the stripes are kind of glossy and some of the stripes are a little more matte. So, and I don't believe this is painted. I think this is just like a texture that's actually part of the mold. But you can see that goes all the way up the back of her back. But yeah, it's almost like a little dress that just like, for whatever reason, gets like micro short in the front, and then they have that little cod piece thing hanging down there to cover up her nether regions. So anyway, let's go ahead and talk about her articulation some. So Evil-Lyn honestly can't look up that far. I'm kind of shocked at how little she looks up. She can look down about that far, so not a lot of movement as far as that goes. Not a lot of side-to-side movement either, so you can't really have her do the quizzical thing that well. Head rotates all the way around. I'm pretty sure this is a ball joint underneath there, but it's one of those where it's just kind of like a barely functional ball joint that doesn't really work that well. So that's disappointing. Arms rotate all the way around at the shoulders, but they're going to kind of bump into those shoulder pauldrons. So that's going to happen. She's got a bicep sole, so the bicep rotates all the way around. She's got a single joint of articulation at the elbow, which bends backwards. So that's uncomfortable. And it bends forward a little more than 90 degrees. And then that rotates all the way around. So it's one of those where, like, technically, I don't guess you really needed to have like a bicep cut and where it swivels there, both. But it does help to kind of pose the bicep in a more realistic way if you want to. So I'm not complaining about it. And the wrists rotate all the way around, and both of these spellcasting hands have horizontal hinges, so you can move them back and forth like so. They're a little stiff on mine, but that's to be expected. Both the gripping hands have horizontal hinges, by the way. Now, she doesn't seem to have any mid-torso articulation at all, probably because they didn't want to interfere with the breastplate. I think they probably could have put one underneath the breastplate and not interfered with it, but they probably figured, she'll have enough articulation from this waist articulation, and I think they were probably right in that case. You can see you can get some pretty dramatic poses just out of the waist articulation, and of course the waist rotates all the way around. You hear it squeaking up against that rubber skirt piece. Evil-Lyn can kick up about that far. She could probably kick up a little further if this skirt wasn't in the way. And also, she could probably do the splits no problem if the skirt wasn't in the way. I could probably even stretch it to the point where she could do a pretty decent split. But I don't really want to do that because I don't want to stretch the skirt out of shape. And then she has thigh cut. So the thigh rotates all the way around. You can see that it does not have that gold detailing on the back of the legs. But they probably figured that's going to be hidden most of the time anyway, so why bother to paint it? And then she's got double jointed knees, which seem really stiff on this leg. But and I would be able to get it to bend in all the way, but again, the skirt's kind of getting in the way. I guess that's to be expected. And then Evil-Lyn has a boot cut, so the boot rotates all the way around, and then her foot can point down about that far, her foot can point up about that far, and the foot rotates all the way around. So they did a really good job with this figure. I think there's certain things that they could have done better, like I said. I kind of feel like the armor pieces should be shinier. I kind of feel like her eyebrows could have a little more intensity to them. She's got just kind of a pleasant expression on her face, and that's probably a good representation of Meg Foster, the actress. But to me, Evil-Lyn should look a lot more sinister. You know what I mean? So, but I am pretty happy with how this figure turns out. And let's see. Let's have her next to Lord Skeletor. And you can see they both look great together. So, since Masterverse is kind of winding down now, I don't know if we'll get any more movie figures in this line. I kind of doubt it. But there were two more that I haven't managed to get yet, which was Beastman and Blade, which, those are two good choices to have if you're only going to have two more figures in the movie line. Beastman, who would be like the kind of fill out the trinity of Masters Universe bad guys. You got Skeletor, you got Evil-Lyn, you got Beastman. Those are the big three. So, and then Blade was probably the coolest character designed for the movie. Blade was definitely my favorite of the new villains they introduced. You had Karg, who I kind of didn't understand his design. I didn't really get what was up with it. You know, Sorad, who was kind of like a bionic lizard. And you can't go wrong with the reptilian bad guys, and you can't go wrong with cyborg bad guys. So make yourself a cyborg lizard, and that's cool. I like Sorad. I can understand why Sorad was one of the choices of the three that they made in the original vintage movie line, even though he gets killed off, unfortunately. Yes, very sad. Anyway. But I'd mentioned before how I always wanted movie versions of the pre-existing characters because I liked the designs of a lot of these characters in the movie. Like, honestly, Beastman, I thought was kind of weak. I thought Beastman could have been a better design. But I get why you'd make a figure of him because he's an important character in the overall mythology of Masters of the Universe. So, of course, you want to have Beastman. He-Man and Skeletor obviously would be the two most essential. You got to have He-Man and Skeletor. And I kind of figure if I could only do 3, Evil-Lyn would have been my next choice. And if I could only do 4, then I probably would have picked Blade over Beastman, honestly. But I understand why you would have Beastman in there. And I don't think I'm going to be able to get Beastman because he seems kind of prohibitively expensive right now. So I don't know if I'll be able to afford to buy that Beastman figure. And like I said, I don't want to pay too much for a design I'm not even that crazy about. I'll just put the new Eternia Beastman with these guys and say that's what he should have looked like in the movie because that's a really good Beastman design. I love that Beastman design. But yeah, it would have been nice to see more characters. I would love to see somebody do Man-at-Arms one of these days because I actually do really like the Man-at-Arms design. I thought Man-at-Arms, He-Man, Skeletor, Evil-Lyn, all of those had good, strong designs to them. Beastman's was kind of weak. Teela's was kind of weak, which is unfortunate because I like the actress they picked to play Teela, and I think you could have really made her look like Teela if you give her the red hair and the gold and white outfit, but she's just wearing like this, gray spandex bodysuit with some crap strapped to it. She looked like a very generic science fiction character. Like, this design to me obviously is way different from, since I've got her over here, we might as well compare. You know, the more traditional Evil. Obviously, this is the new Eternia version, but you can see like the more she looks more like the traditional Evil-Lyn, and you can see how these two characters look almost completely different. But at the same time, it still looks like Evil-Lyn, even though it looks different from the original design. It feels authentic, and I think that was where they succeeded with redesigning Evil-Lyn. She still felt like the Evil-Lyn I always knew, even though she looked a lot different. But Tila just kind of looked like generic sci-fi heroine, and I think they could have done a better job with her. I think if you could have taken the same outfit and instead of a gray bodysuit, had a white bodysuit, and instead of kind of random gunmetal color, whatever that was, had that be gold, and give her the red hair. I think that would have been a much better Tila design. Even though it would have been way different, it still would have looked like Tila, you know. The same way this is way different, but it still looks like Evil-Lyn. Now, obviously, with He-Man and Skeletor, like, those designs are kind of so iconic that, like, you know, you can just kind of do the silhouette of it, and it still works. And Skeletor really just needs to be a guy with a skull face and a hood, and, you know, putting him all in black, I think, was a good call. I think that worked better for the movie than trying to put him in like baby blue and purple would have worked at that time. Obviously, the design of Skeletor in the new movie looks really cool, and that kept the purple and blue look, and that looks great. But I don't know if they would have been able to pull it off in the 80s. You know, like they've gotten so good at doing that kind of stuff now that they can put them in like a more brightly colored outfit. And you can see this one has, like, you know, a little more purple showing through than you could actually see in the movie. There actually was like some purple metallic flecks in there, but I don't think they show up as well as this one is just straight up purple. So, but I like the figure for the most part. Just the cape I thought was kind of lame. Oh, well, whatever. What are you going to do? Evil-Lyn's awesome, and you should probably pick one of these up if you don't already have her. I don't know if this, I'm going to see if this cape portion, yeah, this is removable. So that's what she looks like without the cape. I'm going to pop her head back on. But yeah, that'll help with making my Princess Aura figure, I think. Or Dija Thoris. I could do a lot of really cool things with this as far as custom work goes. I'm gonna have to buy a couple more of these. Hopefully, I'll be able to get them before they're all gone from Big Bed Toy Store. And like I said, they've got her for like a really good price. So if you don't already have this figure, pick her up. She's definitely worth picking up. Anyway, I think that's pretty much it for Evil-Lyn. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, make sure that you like and subscribe and all the fun YouTube stuff down below. I'll be back on the next episode with something else, but I haven't really decided what yet. So, like I said, we're kind of trying to play things a little more randomly this month than I usually do, and it's been fun. But we'll have some big projects coming up soon, because God knows I've got all those 2000X figures to open up still. The cartoon collection 2000X. I got a bunch of Snake Men. I got a bunch of G.I. Joe. I still got a bunch of DC stuff I need to open. So I guess we're just gonna have to see what the next episode is. I don't know what the next episode's gonna be yet. So anyway, but if you enjoyed it, please make sure that you like and subscribe and all the fun YouTube stuff down below. Leave a comment and let me know what you think about this Evil-Lyn figure in particular, and just the character of Evil-Lyn in general. And if you've made it all the way through this video, here's your homework assignment. Leave a comment and let me know if you, when you were a kid and you watched this movie, did you think that she was wearing contacts? Because like I said, I was kind of surprised to find out that was her real eye color. And they did a really good job catching that with the figure. I think that she looks great. Anyway, that's it for this episode. Hope you enjoyed it. We will talk to you next time. Bye.